sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
Yo everyone, welcome on in to another SGL stream for this week. This is going to be a good match for y'all folks. It's the only Mazar here to kick off this stream, and with me in the commentary booth is Luis of El Matador. Luis, how you doing?
Yeah, doing great, Maz. Really happy to be here tonight as we wrap up the regular season. I'm looking forward to seeing how we get on it tonight.
Absolutely, and we are very close to finishing this off too. We are in our final week. We've played a couple of matches already, and the seedings are just about set in stone. To remind everyone real quick, we do have our 6 participants for the playoffs, and we will be jumping into the league table real quick to highlight them. So just give us 1 sec whilst we get to that point. Let me show off the league table very quickly. There you go, folks. There is the league table. There are the 6 teams that have qualified for the playoffs. Luis, it's been a while since you've been up in the booth. I want to know your thoughts about the 6 teams that have qualified. And are you also very surprised that KC Cauldron weren't able to make it?
Yeah, so KC Cauldron being the obvious omission from the playoffs is obviously the biggest surprise. Timbers Army had a really good run towards the end of the season, so really happy to see them take that 6th spot. But other than KC, I think the rest of the teams are pretty standard. Those are, in my opinion, the best 6 teams in SGL. So, yeah, other than KC, I don't really see any surprises. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, KC is the obvious surprise for me right here, but I do want to highlight a couple of teams that have really impressed me this season so far, namely the Rebellion, who are playing tonight, and Timbers Army. Timbers Army especially, because they started off poorly. If you remember, Luis, in week 1, they faced off against Black Army, and they lost 3-2 against them in 5 games. And you'd think, oh, they're going to be, just fine for the season. And then as the season progresses, they lose, I think, 3 in a row. Yeah, they lose against the locals and Emerald City Defiance. And they also lost to you guys, El Matador. So they lost 3 in a row, and, we're thinking, uh-oh, there might be something going on there. But, they bounced back, and now they're into the playoffs ahead of KC Cauldron. So, huge congrats to them. And then you have Rebellion, who really stepped it up and are really showing their worth this season. I mean, the rest of the teams are pretty much as expected. El Matador, Emerald City RC, Black Army, who've come back strong after their successes in Season 6. And now the locals, who are pretty much the top dogs now. So I do want to highlight real quick that the top 2 teams are going to be given a bye to the second round. That's why their positions are colored in gold. Whilst 3rd to 6th will be playing in the first round. So those are my overall thoughts. I know I kind of rambled a bit, Luis, but I did want to talk about Timbers Army and the Rebellion because, not going to lie, I was expecting them to go through a lot more trouble. And Timbers Army did, but the fact that they're in the playoffs is pretty good to see.
Yeah, again, they had that rough start to the season that you mentioned. I know talking to Rydog during that stint, it was looking kind of dire for his team, but they pulled together, and yeah, they went on an impressive run, finishing off the season with that great win against Los Verdes to qualify them. So no drama at the end of the season here in week 11, unfortunately. But yeah, if you're a Timbers Army fan, congratulations and really well done.
Oh, and speaking of drama, I think now's a good time to quickly cover the week fixtures and results. So if you want to know what we meant by drama, here we go, folks. So Timbers Army were at 6th. They were 1 point ahead of the Cauldron. They faced off against Los Verdes, and a lot of the neutrals were hoping for Los Verdes to get an upset, a huge upset against Timbers Army. Unfortunately, Timbers Army came up strong and swept Los Verdes 3-0, convincingly. And that wasn't the only, convincing result. We also had Black Army sweep the locals in what was a surprise, a bit of an upset. Because as good as Black Army have been recently, they never looked as dominant as they did against the locals, Luis. And for me, they've really put themselves up in contention for the championship as a dark horse.
Yeah, Black Army, at the beginning of the season, they had that tremendous run. They kind of had a lull in the middle of the season, but at the end of the season, right when you want to be finding your form, they found their form. And yeah, for me right now, I think they're the most informed team in SGL going into the playoffs. So Vexum has been playing great. Martez, Eric Saunders, Isidore, the rest of the guys are there playing really good. So while it may look like an upset in terms of the standings, in terms of the players in the field, I think that Black Army team stacks up really well against that local side. Yeah, they showed it in that series that they're going to be a serious contender in the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. And one other team that I want to highlight as a possible contender, Luis, is El Matador. Now, you guys still have the seeding to play for here. I mean, of course, your seeding depends on whether Emerald City RC can win their match or not, too. But, you know, Pones, by the way, Pones, welcome aboard into the chat. Did kind of mention as like a bit of a lighthearted throwaway comment, EM is a surprise, Kappa. Now, if we look at the matchup against Casey Cauldron, do you think a full-strength EM team can beat Casey Cauldron? Personally, in your opinion.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm biased. I think that when EM puts out their number one lineup, they can beat anybody in the league. Will that happen against the Cauldron tomorrow? I guess we'll just wait and see. We've been trying to do our best to kind of get as much playing time for as many people as possible as we do approach the playoffs. In the playoffs we will be playing our relatively strong lineups. So that'll be limited game time for other people on the roster. So we'll see tomorrow. Whoever shows up to EM will play. That's kind of our rules. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow. And then for Casey, again, disappointing end of their season. And just season in general, that on week 11, the defending champions have really nothing to play for.
Yeah, it is a rough end for them. So, I mean, they have nothing but pride to play for at this point. And if they can get a result against El Matador, I guess that'll be an okay end to the season, given how disappointing it's been. But we'll talk about that when that match arrives. Right now, we are going to be focusing on Steel Army versus the Rebellion because we are almost at the point of kickoff. Now, for me, this matchup is kind of interesting because I honestly don't know which way this will go. We talked about El Matador having a lot of rotation. Casey Cauldron tends to have a lot of rotation as well. These two sides don't typically tend to have that much rotation. If anything, they have 4 players who played, and they tend to rotate one of their players out for that 4th player. For Steel Army, that's between Red 4 and Raisin Boy, and for the Rebellion, that's between Triple C and Gogan. So, given the consistency between these sides, on paper, you'd think the Rebellion would, get a result here. But Steel Army have been coming up and getting better, Luis. So how do you think this match will go?
Yeah, Steel Army had a great end of their season. Unfortunately, it was a little too late for them in terms of making the playoffs. But yeah, I expect them to come into this game again. Nothing to play for them. Off of the back of some really good results and some momentum. So I think that they're going to be playing free, and I think they're going to play a really good game against a team that they are underdogs to. But the Rebellion as well have had some interesting results over the past couple of weeks. They aren't really having the same sort of form that they had towards the beginning half of the season. So if you're the Rebellion here, like, this is a very important game for confidence going into the playoffs, and then also for their seeding. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see if the Rebellion can kind of bounce back against a team in Steel Army that have been playing really good Rocket League.
Absolutely, and the seeding is very important given that the Rebellion is 1 point behind El Matador. So in your case, the seeding will determine which team will get that home fixture, and if the Rebellion gets a win against Steel Army, and El Matador happen to drop points, then that'll be huge for the Rebellion. I mean, that home advantage is going to help them for sure. On top of that, as you said, the confidence. You've seen Black Army gain more and more confidence as they start to win these games. And for the Rebellion, I think they would need that too, especially now that they're starting to give more minutes to a player like Pipe Shot Gogan. And, if he can step up and if he can become more confident, then it becomes very difficult for the opposition because now they can start interchanging players, and Pipe Shot Gogan offers something a little different to, Polar, Shorts, and Triple C.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see what lineup they go with tonight. I do think it will be Pipe Shot Gogan. I don't see Triple C in the lobby. At least I don't think he's in the lobby. So, yeah, I think both of these lineups, like you said, are pretty consistent throughout the season. So not much rotation, and typically that allows for better cohesion in the game. And speaking of the game, Maz, both teams are in the lobby, and I think we're ready to go.
Absolutely. Now, before this game kicks off, I'm going to give a quick prediction. I see this going 3-1 to the Rebellion. As the clock ticks down, here we go. Game 1 between Steel Army and the Rebellion.
Yeah, I might go with an upset here. I think we're gonna go with Steel Army in 5. I'm here for the upset. As we do get things rolling here. Shorts with an amazing attack
Oh,
so
man.
far, and he's gonna do it himself. Shorts 53 on the scoreboard. 14 seconds into the game, just a long ball clearance to himself, and Raisin Boy with a bit of a pass mid, and Shorts is there.
Yeah, I was not really expecting that from Raisin Boy. He tends to have better control of his car in the air, but that was a bit of an unfortunate execution, and Shorts was there with a good enough finish to get the lead for the Rebellion. This is the start they needed to get their confidence going. And for a team that is at their strongest when they're fully confident, they couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yeah, great start for the Rebellion. We did speak that this is going to be a game that's important for them in terms of momentum going into the playoffs, as Shorts misses a relatively easy ball with a great pass from Polar. So that's going to be one that they want back. But I'm going to actually go ahead and retract my prediction for Steel Army. They are all wearing cowboy hats, which is a terrible look. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 Rebellion sweep just because of the terrible, terrible cosmetic item on top of their cars.
I also thought that one of them would be going with the Dominus. I think it's Raisin Boy mainly, but I've seen Bearblitz rock the Dominus as well. So I'm kind of surprised that they're all playing the Octane right here. But I guess they're just playing to have fun at this point. And Steel Army are at their best when they don't feel the pressure. So maybe they're just trying to set themselves up mentally to be able to deal with a good opponent and also stop that ball from going into the back of the net, as Raisin Boy had an awkward moment at the back, but his teammate Bear was able to see that off. And now they have a great counterattack, and Devin is into really hot goal-scoring form in the past few weeks, and he continues that with a goal right here.
Yeah, Gogan's super awkward there, and he ends up getting demoed, and Debit a little bit of a chip shot, a little change-up. So I think the defender for the Rebellion would have saved that if he came in at full speed, but great chip shot from Debit, great demo from Raisin Boy, and yeah, we got a tie game.
I feel like the Steel Army are going to be a great sparring partner for the Rebellion here. No disrespect, but because the Steel Army team has been playing with a lot better teamwork, a lot more cohesion, and they've been demoing a whole lot more too. So, what style do you think Steel Army matches up to mostly compared to one of the playoff teams?
Yeah, I honestly think that Steel Army does play like the Rebellion, just maybe not as good player for player, but it's honestly very close, to be honest. On their day, Steel Army has the potential to pop off. So these two teams mirror each other in terms of play style. So I think that's kind of just adds to the intrigue of a game like this to see what play style wins out in the end. As Debit, a great solo play on the wall. Sombrero and all, great play from Debit. I mean, this is a very, very hard shot, Maz.
That is insanely difficult. He made that look so easy too, Luis. I'm just amazed right there because, as you said, those aren't that easy to put in, especially when you have a keeper coming in. He was able to bounce that off the far post at such a tight angle. And at the back of my head, I'm thinking, where was the Steel Army? Because they're popping off right now, and they're looking as good as they've ever been this season. And for the Rebellion, they should be happy they made the playoffs because this has been a rough match for them so far.
Yeah, and again, this isn't what you want to see if you're the Rebellion. Having this end of the season kind of funk that they're in, they're going to want to look to at least get back in this game with 2 minutes left as we see Shorts to Polar. Great response to them. I always wonder with the Rebellion, man, especially with the way they've been playing at the end of the season, you want to see their mental be high, and so good to see a response from them. And yeah, no, this is really back and forth.
This has been a fun match so far, hasn't it, Luis? I'm liking how, these teams are stepping up and responding to adversity. It's not like they're losing confidence and the momentum's just swinging into one side for one particular team. It just keeps going back and forth. And I think it's that kind of high confidence that you need facing off against the better SGL teams in the playoffs as well. So we're here to have a really good time. I mean, this match has been incredible. And I can see it in the chat as well. Like, they're having a blast too.
Yeah, a bit of a free ball here. Well, what a read from Debit off the ceiling, just floating there with a tremendous block. Yeah, I'm liking the early aggression from Steel Army in their attacks. We saw Bearblitz there. Oh, in Shorts. Puts it in. Debit a little awkward there on the back. I was really expecting a clearance, but Shorts capitalizes on the mistake, and Shorts has really been the catalyst going forward so far for the Rebellion.
Absolutely, and if you want something done right, folks, sometimes you gotta do it yourself. And Shorts there took it upon himself to get that goal, passing it to himself off the backboard wall and shooting the ball 70 miles per hour Alan'sBangersOnly.com radar guard. Alan, if you're still around, we love you. We miss you. We hope you can join us in SGL sometime soon. Now,
Yeah, so
sorry, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, so far, Schwartz's mechanics are really, really good. We saw a nice little double tap off the sidewall there with very little boost. And Schwartz is one of these players, Maz, I think this season has been a standout in terms of his performance. He's really, really put on a show, and I think he's been one of the most improved players that we've seen in this season of SGL.
Oh, absolutely agreed. Schwartz, he doesn't look as fancy as some of the other players in this community, but he has absolutely shown solid mechanics. Very reliable, very consistent, absolute sharpshooter, great passer. And when he and Polar play together, they're one of the deadliest duos in SGL, alongside the likes of Gojo and Toad, yourself and Caesar, and Meki Ducky and Aquatic.
Yeah, as we see, Bear Blitz had an open net there, didn't manage to squeeze it in. Raisin Boy as well on a follow-up, didn't manage to get it. Debit alone at the back, great read from Debit, and this is going to be a 1-on-2 if Bear Blitz can get it under control. He unfortunately can, and that results in Debit being demoed there. But some chances here if you are Steel Army to get that equalizer.
The absolute chaos in this game right now. There have been a lot of bumps and disruptions. Another demo, Luis. This has been a wild end to game one. Steel Army have been huffing and puffing right here, but they have not been able to break the wall down. And now they have one more chance, potentially. They need to make the most of this. They need to see that ball bounce off the corner, but unfortunately it touches the ground, and Rebellion take game one after a poor start.
Yeah, poor start from the Rebellion, but a tremendous bounce back from them to win this game. And honestly, I think if you're Steel Army, you gotta be a little upset with some of the chances there at the end. But really good, resolute defense from the Rebellion, and yeah, they take game one here in what was a pretty even game.
Absolutely, I fully agree with that. It felt like a game where you had one player per team play very big roles and have a huge presence. Shorts in the Rebellion, Debit and Steel Army, and then they had a second player who offered that support to them. Excuse me, Polar for the Rebellion, Bear Blitz for Steel Army, and a third who would disrupt, namely Raisin Boy for Steel Army and Gogan for the Rebellion. I wonder if that's going to continue here, but it does look like Steel Army might be making a substitution. We'll see who they bring in. I mean, it's no surprise, we've already talked about this in the past. Don't be surprised if Red Fort comes in for Steel Army.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see who does come in for Steel Army. They currently only have 2 players in the lobby, so that is not enough to play a 3v3 game mode. So hopefully one of their players does join, or we will have a lobby reset, which is not fun. And it does seem the players in the lobby do not understand that there are not enough players in this server, and so we will be doing a lobby reset. We do apologize. Both of these teams have a very hard time counting. It is incredibly sad to see, but NA education for you. So we do apologize there, folks.
Well, give us a second whilst we set that up. Again, apologies for that, but it won't take us too long. Meanwhile, I see Triple C in the chat hanging out. Triple C, I don't know if you'll have time to play, but you should be proud of that Game 1 performance right there. Red 4 commenting on his team's performance, talking about the hats buffing the team. I mean, I don't know about that, Luis, but they have been playing with more confidence, that's for sure. And then Ponesy talking about the other best duo that I apparently forgot about. Himself, Pones, and the Whiff. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Ponesy is tremendous, and so is Whiff, 2 of the very best in SGL.
Well, that's just your opinion, dude.
And again, we do apologize. Pennsylvania and Massachusetts education showing here that we can't count, so we do apologize for that.
We will count being in Steel Army. Yeah.
We will be resuming shortly.
Now, Luis, just wondering about how that Game 1 went. What do you think Steel Army should do differently right here to potentially get a win?
Well, they are going to be bringing in the third brother in Red Fort, it seems like. So it's going to be interesting to see how Steel Army plays with the all-brother lineup. It's a bit of a different play style from when Raisin Boy's in the team. It's a little bit more conservative in terms of the play, and so I I'm interested to see how that translates from what we saw in Game 1, because Raisin Boy, he's a very offensive, very in-your-face, going 100 miles an hour the whole time. So I'm interested to see just kind of the gameplay difference from Game 1.
Yeah, the way Red 4 tends to play, I feel like he's more similar to Gogan in the sense that he's way more of a disruptive presence, a bit more of a wild card in the sense that, you know, he does pop up and get involved, but typically you don't know what you're going to expect from him. So we'll see how this works out. I feel like it's a proper mirror match now for the Rebellion, so it's all about which players can step up and make it count. So that's what it's all about here.
And on the Rebellion side, they will be rocking the same lineup, so no Corey, no Triple C coming in for the Rebellion. Then, so yeah, very interested to see how this Red 4 edition plays into what was a very even Game 1. So let's see if it ends up being a hindrance or maybe a positive for Steel Army in Game number 2.
It is Red 4 versus Shorts in this kickoff. Game 2 will finally start after a small delay. Here we go. Can Steel Army bounce back and get themselves back into this matchup, or will the Rebellion set themselves up for a sweep?
Yeah, great bump by Shorts and even a better save from Debit there. That was a tremendous play all around for the Rebellion. Very unlucky to not see a goal out of that. I was going to say they're about to get a goal out of that and another whiff in front of the net. But great early start from the Rebellion, Maz. They're putting on the pressure.
You know, I think they should have made one of those chances count because Steel Army can very easily get a goal. Debit tried to set up Bear Blitz, but Bear Blitz passes it back to Debit. Redford had to back off there wisely, and now Bear Blitz kickstarts the attack again, but to no avail. And that's the thing, you know, in this game, you have to make every chance count because you never know when you're going to concede off of a simple error or off of a good play. But both teams have gotten away with it for now. So far, the Rebellion have the ball in the Steel Army end, and they start to take a bit more control now as Steel Army seem to be sitting back right here, interestingly.
Yeah, and Red 4 does also have a sombrero on top of his car. He's going to need it to come up big here, and unfortunately that sombrero is just not big enough. Polar with a great shot of his own, and Polar is one of these players, Maz. We didn't go over the stats before the stream, but I'm pretty sure he's in the running of like a top 5 goals for the entire season, and so Polar just doing what he's done best for the Rebellion and scoring.
You know what? Yeah, you have a point right there. Polar has really stepped up this season, has been getting into the goals and the points as well. Like, he's been one of the biggest contributors in SGL this season. You know, and let's not forget about Shorts. That dude has been stepping up big time in goals as well. So it's either Polar or Shorts who are going to be offering you the goods in the attack. And so far, Polar has been making it all on his own, and Shorts comes in from the back and gets the second goal for the Rebellion.
Yeah, Bear Blitz going backwards, not what you want to see playing Rocket League, and a great pass mid again from Polar to Shorts. The Rebellion dynamic duo linking up there, and yeah, this is a lot better from the Rebellion. Maybe a step back from the Steel Army's Game 1 performance. Again, we still have plenty of time, but so far the Rebellion, I think, playing just a lot more better offensively.
Yeah, they look more slick and they look a lot more confident in themselves. Steel Army, they have these moments, but then they back off so quickly that they're not able to sustain much pressure. Whereas with the Rebellion, you see Gogan come up high and look to disrupt. Then you have Shorts and Polar really stepping up and making sure that Steel Army don't get much time to settle on the ball. As that ball goes in towards the back of the net from an audacious effort by Debit. But somehow it stays out, Luis. How did that happen?
Yeah, Shorts, great save from Shorts there. And then on the follow-up, I didn't really like to see Bear Blitz take what would have been almost an open shot away from Red 4. So kind of unfortunate as we see Polar again sniping the ball upper 90. What a shot from Polar. He's got to be one of the better players in SGL, Maz, from this sort of area on the pitch, putting it in very dangerous spots in the goal. And yeah, great shot from him. And yeah, the Rebellion, they're rolling.
Dude, that finish was so good. It reminded me of Monkey Moon and RLCS Worlds. That is the kind of precise finishing that you need. That's Debit. Responds back in kind with his own sharp shooting skills.
Yeah, Debit just beats out 2 Rebellion players there. I believe Shorts and Polar just couldn't get there in time. And a great response from Steel Army. They really needed this because this game was getting away from them pretty fast.
You know, on that note of the game getting away from them, I do want to highlight something that Triple C mentioned. Pause on that. Debit comes back with a second again off of the kickoff, and now it's the Rebellion who are starting to lose control of this game.
Yeah, great play by Red 4 on the wall there, and just an open debit. Not too sure where the defense is at there, but yeah, tremendous response so far from Steel Army. Maybe if you're the Rebellion, you kind of took your foot off the gas pedal thinking this game was over, but as we do approach the halfway mark, this game is far, far from over.
Yeah, in all honesty, I never expected Steel Army to step back this quickly, and it's Devin who's been pushing the Steel Army team forward and allowing them to get back into this as Bear Blitz tries to get a shot on target, but he cannot get it anywhere near. I did want to highlight that what Triple C said. You know, in a lot of these instances, you know, Steel Army get a good attack and then they have to fall back and they've conceded because they've not been able to set themselves up. It's Rebellion have been super quick. But now the game is completely turned on its head, you know, with Steel Army getting those 2 quick-fire goals. It feels like the Rebellion are on the back foot now and looking a little awkward, and Steel Army are the ones scoring in confidence.
Yeah, I can't really pinpoint what was the change from the 3-0 to the 3-2 here. It feels like a completely different game after it went to 3-0. As we see Polar pass it mid. Red 4 does have a chance there, unfortunate on the shot, but yeah, it seems like it's a complete role reversal from what we saw in that first minute of the game. As we see Polar almost snipes his own net, and it should be a goal here. It is 3-3. Bear Blitz on the scoreboard, courtesy of a unlucky touch from Polar, and yeah, just great team play from Debit. Bear Blitz there to finish, and yeah, I don't know, Maz. It just it feels like both teams switch sides and they're just yeah, occupying each other's gameplay. But yeah, crazy game so far.
It's absolutely insane, and Steel Army have to defend that effort, and they get away with it as Polar is not able to get the shot on target. Yeah, it does feel like, you know how you have 2 people playing FIFA, and then they switch sides immediately, and you start to see the score ramp up for the opposition. Like that, it felt like that kind of happened here. And you don't know, I don't even know how to call this game, Luis, at this point, because anything can happen. Look at the great passing there from Steel Army. Unfortunately, Bear was not able to get on the end of it, but Devin keeps up the pressure, and now it's the Rebellion who are having to defend this and have to deal with this pressure.
Yeah, great save from Polar, by the way. A backflip, or a half-flip save there. That was tremendous. But yeah, I love that pass from Red 4. Love those infield passes. And man, the confidence right now for Steel Army. I might have to take them here, Mads. They look the more confident side at the moment.
Well, in terms of my own prediction, I did say 3-1 to the Rebellion. This is the game for Steel Army to get if they want to get back into this match. Debit with some kind of nervy defending, but he gets away with it as the Rebellion drop back in respect of Steel Army. What a pass infield to Bear Blitz, but once again, he cannot get it on target, and it's Red 4 who had to come up and take a quick fire shot. The Rebellion deal with this, but the pressure continues for Steel Army.
Yeah, the Rebellion have no boost here, and Red 4 really had a chance there. If he made contact and it went anywhere near the net, that could have been a goal, and Bear Blitz full boost. This has to be a goal if you're Steel Army. Double tap, maybe? No double tap. Red 4 is there. The ball is still up, Maz. And oh, here we go. OT. Man, that was a really good chance for Steel Army to steal this game.
It's all about the kickoff right now. Which team can take the advantage? So far, it's a good start for Steel Army. And yeah, Luis, you're absolutely right. Steel Army had the opportunity to get the game winner, but the Rebellion have held on. And they've held on from that kickoff, too, to see off this counter attempt. Oh, my goodness. Rebellion, they couldn't get that shot in. Oh, man, this is so tough to call. I have no idea how long this is going to go for. I have no idea who's going to win this either. It's just absolute chaos right now.
Yeah, Polar faking a great touch from Bear Blitz. Debit's up. Can he finish this? Off the backboard, Bear Blitz is there. This should be a goal. He whiffs. Red 4 with a shot, and it's just completely off the net, man. Like that has to be on net if you're Steel Army. But if you're the Rebellion, you luck out there and you live to fight another day. But yeah, man, it really feels like if there's some more clinical finishing at the net's open here, Debit just whiffs the ball again.
God.
We're just whiffing, Maz. Just a bunch of whiffs coming out.
I'm sorry, Luis. This is insane. We've seen Bear Blitz. I'm going to highlight him right now because he's been missing a lot of opportunities to get a shot on target. And now Bear Blitz, Debit misses that. You don't want to invite the Rebellion back into this because they can very easily create a chance of their own. As Polar's attempting to do that right now. Gogan comes in, misses. Shorts has to hang back as he should because he was the only guy at the back there. Oh my goodness, you don't want to take a chance right here. You got to, just get that ball to the other end. sometimes you don't need to aim for anything precise. Just hit it at the other end and see how it works out.
Yeah, and if you're the Rebellion here, you've dodged so many bullets, it feels like this has to be your game. Yeah, it feels like if you're Steel Army on the other side, you've missed so many great chances that oftentimes in Rocket League that comes to hurt you. But Bearblitz, good catch here. Gogan almost with a good challenge into the net here, but yeah, just a bunch of whips, bunch of nerves happening right now in this OT.
Yeah, I do want to highlight Gogan right here because we haven't really mentioned him much, but he's been such a big defensive presence for the Rebellion, and he's done a good job at keeping Steel Army on their toes as well. Gogan, we kind of highlighted him as a potential wild card, as a potential, chaotic presence, and so far he has been the difference between both sides. As Steel Army, despite their poor finishing, have still had some chances, and Gogan's been the man in this game so far. Good pass attempt right there from him, and if anything, I think they need Gogan to step up right here in order to potentially win this game too.
Yeah, and the play in OT has kind of slowed down here. We did have that early multiple chances that Steel Army just couldn't capitalize on, but the game's gotten a little bit slower. Both teams are trying to not make the mistake that they made in that first minute of OT. As Debit is kind of on a breakaway here. Can he flick Shorts? Great tackle by Shorts there. As a whiff from Gogan, nobody's there for Steel Army. Man, it feels like the Rebellion keep getting away with it, and yeah, if you're the Rebellion, you gotta take advantage of all these mistakes that Steel Army's given you.
Dude, for sure, and it now feels like both sides are being a bit more conservative. Great pass right there by Gogan, big save by Red 4. Yeah, you can sense that both sides are getting a little bit more conservative. They're starting to drop back deeper into the midfield so that they don't give up those chances. But, oh my goodness, anything can happen here right now. Bearblitz with a nice dribble in. Debit going for a double off the corner. Plays a pass off the backboard. Red 4 with a weak shot attempt. Polar has enough boost to see this off. But he's getting instantly challenged now, too. And a big defensive effort right there from the Rebellion to see this off. This has been a hugely back and forth affair, Luis. What will be the difference between these two sides right now?
Man, I don't know what I'm watching right now, Maz. This is something. This is some STL gameplay right here. But yeah, honestly, I don't even know what it's going to take to score. Both of these teams are having trouble. But as I say that, Polar finishes this 4-minute OT off with a great solo play off the corner. Great wall read, the halo and everything. Team Limitless with the goal there for the Rebellion. And wow, that was a game, Maz, of Rocket League that just happened.
And once again, Luis, I get that it's a game, but sometimes if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. And this time, Polar rolled up his sleeves and said, yeah, I'm gonna step up and take over. 925 points, a hat trick through that game winner, 1 assist and 2 saves as well. This was a complete performance from Polar. What a huge step up from him in this game too.
Yeah, Polar, again, almost dropping 1,000 points. In any Rocket League game, if you're dropping 900 points, you're typically doing pretty well. So, Polar, great ice at the end there. In a game that really, Maz, lacked a lot of ice. There was a lot of open misses, a lot of whiffs and stuff. But sometimes, like you said, you just got to solo play a little bit and get it done. And Polar did just that. And again, when you're Polar, you're the best player in your team. Sometimes games like this call for your best player making a really good play at the end of the game, and he did that. So Polar really putting on for his team.
And that's the thing with SGL, folks. I know Triple C mentioned this is SGL in the chat to highlight, how this game went. But, when times are tough, when the going gets tough for you, sometimes you need the best players to step up. And that is exactly what happened in that game, too. And now we are entering Game 3, Luis. The Rebellion can potentially sweep this, and we can get a third sweep this week. Or maybe Steel Army can bounce back. Who knows? But here we go. Game 3 in DFH. And let's see if Steel Army can get a good start right here.
Yeah, I don't think a sweep would do it justice, Maz, from what we've seen so far. I feel like both of these teams are pretty evenly stacked, and yeah, just from a neutral point of view, I'd like to see at least a longer series, so it doesn't look as oh my God, Debit with a tremendous 50 dunk, upper 90. We got to see this again, Maz.
Can we highlight that pass as well from Bear Blitz? That was terrific, but for Devin to get that in, he had to do a little backflip dodge at the end, and that is what got that ball into the back of the net. A terrific start for Steel Army, the supporters group for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, as Devin gets the second off of the kickoff. Luis, these kickoffs, they're very important. You gotta make them count.
Yeah, kickoffs are very important, and in threes, you should always have somebody cheating, folks. And right there was a perfect example. If you don't cheat, you're not trying. And Debit 2-0, a great shot off the crossbar there.
Oh yes, absolutely. One thing I want to highlight, a message in the chat from a new guy, Thompson Zach, asking, what rank are these guys? So the ranks in SGL generally tend to vary a little bit, but in terms of these two teams, I think Triple C already mentioned it, but the Rebellion have 2 players who are Champ 1 and 2, one guy who is in Diamond, and Steel Army have 2 guys who are at a Champ level and one guy who's in a Diamond 3 level. So decent level, not incredibly high, but not low either.
Yeah, not low indeed. Again, I think pretty evenly matched teams so far in terms of skill and in terms of the series so far. And Debit going for what a save from Shorts. That would have been Debit's hat trick, I believe. And Shorts has had some tremendous saves throughout these first 3 games, and that was one of the best.
That was huge. They needed that. Shorts needed to keep that out of the back of the net because Steel Army has been growing in confidence and form. This is their best chance of getting that 1 game back as Gogan goes for a shot off target, unfortunately. One thing I want to highlight off of these 2 teams, Luis, is none of them are really showing any particularly fancy mechanics, but what they're showing are effective mechanics right now.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you notice with these 2 teams is while they might not have some of the flashier players in SGL, you know, they do certain things relatively well for their ranks and their skill level, and we're seeing that. And one of the things, by the way, since Red 4's been introduced to this lineup for Steel Army, there's been some really good passing plays from Red 4. So always like to see that from teammates, and Red 4 is one of the better ones that we have.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love passing play in Rocket League, Luis. I think you do as well, like we've talked about this a bunch. And these 3 in Steel Army, 3 brothers, they have some special kind of synergy going on because they know where their teammates are. They know where to play the next pass. These guys are one of the most cohesive lineups we've seen in recent weeks, for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of passes, we saw an attempted one there that didn't quite come off, and a great save by Debit, running low on boost. And Gogan would have had a shot on goal there, kind of whiffs unluckily, and Debit downfield, a pass from his middle brother there, and it didn't quite come off. But again, we're seeing the passing plays come out of Steel Army, and they're almost coming to fruition.
And the Rebellion have no boost. They need to get something real quick right here before they deal with any more shots. Kind of get away with it. All 3 have close to 100 boosts now. Pads, fellas, pads. You need to get those pads to get those boost numbers up to like 20 to 30 or so. Because I think that's been the biggest problem for both sides. They tend to miss out on the pads, and then they need to fall back, and that's what invites the opposition into a goal potentially. I don't know. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, one thing that I'd like to see here from the Rebellion is just keep the ball close. Look for some 50s, maybe send Shorts out ahead of Polar. Slow the play down a bit as we see Red 4 coming in.
Oh.
Red 4 makes it 3-0. A great pass to the middle from Debit. Red 4 on the receiving end. And wow, what a statement comeback from losing those first 2 games in the series from the PA boys.
For real, this has been an incredible statement of intent right here from Steel Army. All 3 have stepped up. Bear Blitz is yet to get a goal, but he still has time. He has a shot attempt. No, not again. Another shot off target from Bear Blitz. He's still searching for, I think, his first goal in this matchup. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. But this has been a huge step up by Steel Army right now, Luis. And the Rebellion, they need to gather themselves up right now. They can potentially afford to lose the game, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't be too happy if I was a Rebellion player looking at this. I think these guys could do better for sure.
Yeah, Bear Blitz had a golden opportunity off of that pass to score, and shoots it just wide. He doesn't really have his shooting boots on in this series so far, but yeah, again, I think this is a statement game from Steel Army. I think both of those games 1 and 2 could have gone either way, and so if you're the Rebellion here, you kind of knock this one off and see what you did wrong. And again, I recommend just play a little bit slower, looking for some 50s, sending shorts out ahead maybe for some demos would be really good. As we see a nice save from Debit again, tremendous save from the accountant himself. And yeah, this was a tremendous game from Steel Army.
Yeah, we're starting to see Bear Blitz get more confident as well. He's able to bring the ball out of the back with his dribbles more and more often. Oh my goodness, another miss right there, this time from Devin. But this has been incredible to see from Steel Army. And you're right about the Rebellion, Luis. They've had some good passes, some good quick attacks, but they need to mix it up. They got to start slowing it down. Polar almost close to a consolation goal, but it is Steel Army who win Game 3 and who get a point off of this match.
Yeah, and Maz, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've had a reverse sweep so far this SCL season, have we?
No,
I don't remember if we have. We have?
Yes, Los Verdes versus Emerald City Blue.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So yeah, ECB, the only current team to have pulled off a reverse sweep, which is what Steel Army is looking to do here. And honestly, Maz, I think they have a really good shot if they continue to play the way they did in this game.
Yeah, they've done very well in getting that lead player to get high up the field so they can play that quick pass forward, and they've also done a good job of demoing the third man for the Rebellion. And they got to keep that going because the Rebellion so far have no answer to either of those. And one other thing I've been noticing is whenever the Rebellion get boost armed, they just fall back immediately, and that invites the opposition up. So let's see if Steel Army can potentially start to steal some boost as well. One thing I do want to mention from the chat, Toad Death mentioned, Rebellion are too good to let this go to Game 5. They're going to regroup and lay down the law if Debit and Co aren't ready. Your thoughts on that, Luis?
Yeah, I mean, they are the favorites. They are the playoff team. If you are going to be one of the best teams in SGL, this Game 4 right here is a game that you should be putting Steel Army away. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing if they, lay down the law. And speaking about laying down the law, Polar, 5 seconds in, just put the ball up or not off the crossbar on a really, really ridiculous angle. So, wow, tremendous shot from Polar there.
Yeah, seriously, I know, that didn't look insanely fancy or anything, but that was really, really good from Polar. Once again, showing his sharpshooting skills right there. That is not an easy finish to get, and he is able to put that on target. And once again, folks, kickoffs matter. Kickoffs matter! And what also matters is making your shots count as the Rebellion get 2 up. We haven't even played 15 seconds here, folks.
Yeah, Gogan hits a long ball, and I think Bear Blitz on the line there thought Polar might get to that, so he has to respect that shot. And Polar with a tactical fake, as we like to say. And again, tremendous start from the Rebellion. This is exactly what you want to see out of the playoff team, out of one of the better teams in the league, against a team that's not in the playoffs. But Debit, right down the other end, and man, 21 seconds into this game, Maz, and there is no defense.
Can I just say this? That is incredible by Debit. Yet again, a really accurate finish at the near post with enough speed. I think that was like 50 plus miles per hour, which is a pretty good, strong finish. So, Polar has been showing off his shooting skills, and Debit has been doing so as well. Too little, too late for Steel Army in terms of their overall season, but Debit has gone back to his goal-scoring best right here.
Yeah, and Polar's going for a demo there. Shorts could have had a better touch there. That would have been almost a certain goal for the Rebellion, and those are kind of the plays that I like to see out of the Rebellion. Send a man ahead of the play, get a demo in, and all it really takes is one touch middle and you're scoring goals. So loving the physical play we're seeing so far to Rebellion.
2 demos from Shorts, one after another, and they keep this pressure going as Steel Army don't have that much boost to operate with at this time. Looking a little rough, a little panicky right now at the back. Another demo. Oh my goodness, this Steel Army team is in big trouble right now. They're struggling to get out of this.
Yeah, and Bear Blitz does cut off Red 4 there. Red 4 had a pretty easy clearance, but I think all of the confusion with the demos is causing that lack of communication and the panicness of the gameplay. And so again, the Rebellion doing exactly what we talked about in Game 3, getting a little bit more physical in the play, and it's really working wonders for them.
And look at how quickly the game can just turn on its head right there off of a demo like that, And if you're able to get some boost, you can keep the pressure up. But right now, it is Steel Army who are trying to kick off an attack, and yet again, the demos keep coming non-stop. But that is not putting Steel Army out of their game. They're still able to bring the ball forward. This is still a 1-goal gap in this game 4. The Rebellion leading 2-1 as we enter, as we approach halftime in this game. Luis, this is a really even game at this moment in time. What do you think it'll take to swing the pendulum to one side? And I guess that answers my question. It is Polar getting yet another goal. The dude has stepped up in this matchup.
Yeah, Red 4 going for corner boost that isn't there, leads to an open shot from Polar. And again, these demos are just causing confusion. Steel Army is unsettled. They're playing very uneasy. And yeah, it's resulting in these massive holes. As we see, Gogan gets on the score sheet as well. Yeah, it feels like Steel Army is completely rattled here. And kudos to the Rebellion, a very obvious change in tactics.
Big time, and it's that shift in tactics that leads to the mic drop moment for Gogan as he finally enters the goals for the Rebellion. It is 4-1 to Steel Army. Looking really bad for Steel Army at this moment, but there's still a lot of time for them to come back. I just don't know if they have the answer to this new approach by the Rebellion as they start to, play a more demo-heavy game.
Yeah, one of the things when you're playing a team that's going for demos is having really good, solid, long contacts. As we see Red 4, or Bear Blitz, excuse me, to Debit. Man, Bear, again, just doesn't have the shooting boots on today, but it ended up working out great for him as Debit's there to clean up his errant shot. But yeah, again, if you're facing demos, guys, like some very good, long, hard clearances downfield do wonders for your team. And so if you're Steel Army, gonna be looking for more of that as the game progresses here.
For sure, I fully agree with you on that. Those long clearances help big time. But I think Steel Army have kind of figured that out. Is to trying to play it higher up. Not to much effect right there, but they have definitely tried. They've definitely got it better. Big Blitz! How did that stay out? Oh no!
No way.
No! That was a terrific save too, Luis. But somehow this ball ends into the back of the net. Oh no!
Yeah, Gogan with one of the most incredible own goals that you will ever see. A tremendous save on zero boost, pre-flips across the goal. Bear Blitz smacks it right into him, and unfortunately on the return, Gogan puts it in his own net. And we'll see, Maz. This could be a series-changing goal.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry, I'm kind of shook right now at that sequence of play because Bear Blitz should have had a goal. I guess he gets one goal at the end of the day, just not the way we expected it. But the Rebellion are at the back foot, no boost, whipping the ball too, and they get away with it as Steel Army drop back, trying to get some boost and gather themselves up again. I don't know if I would have done that, but so far they're getting away with it right here as the clock starts to enter the final 90 seconds.
Yeah, and Shorts here with a shot. Bear Blitz with a great save. That basically saved the game there for Steel Army, and all of the pressure right now is for the Rebellion. Another shot coming in from Shorts.
Oh my
Polar
goodness.
with a redirect. Bear Blitz even to it. What a sequence of play there from both teams. And yeah, Steel Army, man, you need a goal right now. And so far, the Rebellion, after conceding that third goal, are doing a really good job.
Oh, Polar, if he only had a bit more boost, he would have been able to adjust to get that shot off the backboard, but he just wasn't able to do so. And Steel Army have a chance to get back into this. Shot on net, but big save there from Polar. Devin tries to set himself up, but the backflip hurt his chances as Shorts is able to get into it. Oh my goodness, open net! No! What am I seeing, Luis? What is going on? Oh no.
Now, listen, Maz, if Bear Blitz missed this shot, we might have just go ahead and call the stream there. But an open net for Bear Blitz. He finally puts his shooting boots on, and with a 69-mile-per-hour shot, Bear Blitz ties the game up. We have 30 seconds left in this very, very important Game 4.
Triple C in chat says no way. I have no words, Triple C. I don't know how you're feeling right now. I think you need to go in and, give him some words of encouragement because we're about to enter overtime again. Unless Steel Army have an answer to this. Big pass from Devin. Red 4 coming in, but a huge save at the back. Great defensive intervention, but this is not over yet. Bear Blitz going up for a dunk. Oh my goodness, this ball's not in a good spot. But Shorts is able to clear this out with a huge 50. And now the ball's going into the other end, Luis. Can the Rebellion respond? Still a chance. Oh no,
Oh
and this
my
is going
God.
into overtime in Game 4.
Man, Gogan cut off Polar, who was going to score the goal to win the series. Oh man, some crazy double commits are leading to us still playing Rocket League here, Maz. So here we go, overtime, game 4.
No idea. I'm flabbergasted, Luis. I don't know about you. I'm kind of lost for words. But, okay. Of all the moments that lead to a match winner, you know, we've talked about the back and forth nature and the closeness. It is a long shot from the midfield by Gogan. The net left relatively open, and it is pipe shot Gogan who seals the deal for the Rebellion in this match. 3-1.
Yeah, pipe shot Gogan with the MVP dropping 650 points in a decisive game 4 for the Rebellion. GG's to both teams. I thought that was a tremendous series. As a neutral, I really enjoyed that. That was some pretty hype SGL action. And again, if you're the Rebellion, this is exactly the sort of the result that you want going into playoffs. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to talking to both teams here, Maz.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I know you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed this as well. A tremendous amount of back and forth. Good quality Rocket League. Comebacks, mistakes, chaos, great individual and team play. I mean, I kind of sweated there towards the end. It is really cold right now in Toronto. Triple C also sweated off as well. As he said, that made me sweat. I fully agree with you on that, dude. You know, one thing I do want to highlight is we've heard Debit in the past, as well as some other Steel Army members, mention that this is the matchup they were looking forward to. And I think despite the loss, I'm sure they would have had fun right here.
Yeah, I think Debit spoke about it in previous broadcasts. Yeah, both of these teams, really good friends and really complementary play styles. So I think it really lived up to the billing for, again, a Steel Army, a team that's not in the playoffs, not really had anything to play for. They really came on and put a show for us, as well as the Rebellion in this series that ultimately doesn't have the biggest stakes in terms of anybody making or missing playoffs. But yeah, I think both teams really put on a show.
I absolutely agree. This has been a great showcase of SGL, and you know, great showcase of two solid supporters groups with two dedicated sets of supporters. And it goes to show you, just because you're a soccer fan in North America, especially a supporters group member, doesn't mean, you know, you're not a gamer. These guys are gamers, and they've shown it right here for sure, folks.
Yeah, and again, that's kind of just the beauty of the league. A game in which we saw a USL SG play against an MLS SG, so that was really awesome to see in the spirit of SGL. Really love seeing these inter league matchups, and hopefully in the future, Miles, we do have some more lower league representation like we used to. We're pretty MLS dominant now, so hopefully we get some more USL and other league teams in the future.
I absolutely agree. I really hope we get to see some more USL and lower league representation, not just from the US, but also from Canada as well, hopefully, over time. One thing I want to highlight from the chat, Kronz comes in and says, "No, I missed it. Run the series back." Well, the only way we could run the series back is if we replay the spawn, Kronz, so sorry about that. But, yeah, you missed a good one here. I hate to say this. You missed a really good one.
Yeah, and one thing I'm curious, and I will ask whoever joins us for interviews, Maz. I mean, Steel Army, I think, really at the end of the season, they really played like a playoff team. I think they showed their playoff caliber just a little bit too late, unfortunately, for them. And I know they did have a pretty front-loaded schedule against some of the better teams in the league. So sad to see them leave us this season. That was their last game that we'll be seeing on stream, unless there is a consolation tournament, which is still in the voting process. But if that is the last time we see Steel Army, GG's, really appreciated them hanging out this season and playing this season. And yeah, I think they ended the season, although with a loss, playing their better Rocket League.
Big time. And we will get to that when excuse me, when we get an interview with Steel Army. But for now, we have Shorts from the Rebellion in the commentary booth. Shorts, how are you feeling, man? Like, we're trying to catch our breath right now, and I need to get some water real quick so I could, hydrate myself. But, man, that was a tougher match than expected, eh?
Yeah, I feel like that was a lot more exciting to watch than it was to play. That was a wee bit stressful. But I'm glad that we got the dub. We needed it.
Yeah, it was a crazy series. We had a great time commentating that series. Yeah, speak to me about going into a game like this. Again, you guys are already in the playoffs. Steel Army's not in the playoffs. How did this feel compared to like other SGL series that you played this season? Were there more nerves, less nerves, or was it just all about vibes?
I don't think it was nerves. I think it was a little bit. We're still trying to figure out our team and rotations a little bit, so we're a little clunky in that sense. But I don't think we were nervous about it. We knew we were in the playoffs. None of us really know how to do math, so we don't really know how high we can get ourselves. But we knew we wanted to win this series to get a chance at getting that third or fourth spot, so we can at the very least get home server. So that was just our goal for today, and hopefully figure some things out. We did not expect it to feel the way it did. Playing against Steel Army, I mean, we've only played against them in the cup last season, and watching them and playing against them feels a lot different. The word I would use is frustrating. They're a very frustrating team to play against. They're not gonna come out and do the flashy 1v1 plays and wow the crowd, but they are just stubborn, just very stubborn on defense, stubborn in the attack. Honestly, kind of the way that we hope to play sometimes is that style. So being on the other end of it, it's really tough to play around. But we figured it out in the end, which is what matters.
Yeah, man. That's great to hear because obviously going to the playoffs, you always want to end on a winning note, in which y'all did. So congratulations to that. Just last question for me. This was y'all's first full season in SDL. Obviously, we still have playoffs to go, but first full regular season. How'd it go overall? What were your thoughts of this season and your team?
Yeah, I mean, we had sky high expectations of ourselves, so we were always hopeful to win the league. Looking back, obviously we got to be proud of what we've done in our first season as a team, and we played half the season with 2 different lineups, so we're still working out the kinks there. So very proud of the boys and how we finished the season out. Excited to see where we land in the chart of the rankings and see who we're going to play in the playoffs, because now our eyes are set to there. Nothing else to look back on, really. But yeah, we're happy with how we did, and we're ecstatic about this league and being in it, to be honest. Just in general, just to be here, it's a great community that we've thankfully found, and we're having a lot of fun.
So, Shorts, one thing I do want to mention, you talk about high expectations now. I'm curious about how you feel about the progression the Rebellion made since last season. When you step back and think about how far you guys have come, does it feel like a bit of a surprise to you, or did you always expect yourselves to get better this quickly?
We always had the expectation of ourselves to get to be, to get better this quickly, I'd say. Myself, I'd like to hold myself accountable. I feel like I've, had my ups and downs, but I'm generally trending in the right direction personally as a player, and that was my goal, so that I can contribute the most to my team. I mean, we finished in the cup last season in third. That one was a bit of a shock, but it sets the bar high for us, so we've expected ourselves to be even better. So that's why going into this match, the goal is hopefully third place. But playoffs are playoffs, so anybody can beat anybody there, and we'll play to that advantage. But yeah, we feel good about where we are right now.
For sure, and it's that kind of confidence that will take you guys far. One thing I do want to also highlight is Steel Army have talked about how much they've been looking forward to this matchup and playing against you guys. After playing against Steel Army, how did you feel about this? Did you enjoy this matchup as well? Would you like to run this back again?
It's a stressful match, I will say that. I think our play styles make for a really, really entertaining match, which thinking back on, I'm honestly not surprised that you guys had an exciting night in the commentary booth. I wouldn't want to commentate our match because it's a lot of back and forth and bumps, and you think someone's going to be there, and then all of a sudden they're across the map because, Debit came out of nowhere. So, yeah, I mean, our play styles really just clash, and I didn't really expect it because I personally didn't see them as that kind of team, and that might just be, me not being in the league for that long, and you all can tell me if I'm, if they're known as a team like that. But yeah, the matching play styles really just comes down to who makes the fewest mistakes, and thankfully we were able to limit that tonight.
Yeah, and you asked us if that's how Steel Army tend to play. Yeah, they do, and we kind of highlighted this in the commentary earlier too. Like, this was gonna be two teams that are gonna be similar in styles, so we were wondering how you guys are gonna respond to that. And you had your adversity, you had your moments of adversity, but you guys responded well. Do you see this as good preparation for the playoffs?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Adversity is you come out a better player in the end every time. Losing that, I think it was the third match, is it's very easy to kind of lose it from there. Just completely fall off the ledge and give up the series. So it was really good to bounce back after that. Shout out to Polar, turning on the max for us for a few goals there. Really the catalyst that we needed.
Big time, and those are not like super fancy mechs too. They're like simple but effective as well.
Yeah.
It goes to show you that you don't need to have a fancy play style to go far in SGL. Just need to be consistent and effective. That's all that matters. Now,
You're gonna call out
speaking of-
Lewis like that while he's in the call?
I'm sorry.
You gonna call out Lewis like that?
That's crazy. We still have to run the ones on stream, Shorts, you and me, buddy. All right.
Yeah,
Here we go,
$1,000.
Yeah.
Look, I do want to ask just one last question. I think
Yeah.
you guys are now locked in to either a 4th or 5th seed. Maz, correct me if I'm wrong. I think
You're
that's
right.
where the
4th or
Rebellion
5th.
will. Yeah. So who would you guys rather face? I think right now the what are the teams here?
No, so
It's basically gonna.
Sorry, Luis,
Like-
to cut in, but they could only face you guys. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So how do you feel about facing EM in the first round of the playoffs then?
We were hoping for Black Army, obviously, because of the results of the season, but I'm excited to play EM with our full lineup, and we'll be prepared. Don't you worry about that.
Hell yeah, awesome. Yeah, I was just looking. I don't think EM will have the games won category to get out of the 4th or 5th spot. So yeah, awesome. Looking forward to the playoffs.
One last question before we hand the floor off to you. Pipe Shot Gogan has been stepping up big time, and I want to highlight Pipe Shot Gogan's performances in recent weeks. With him stepping up and getting better, who do you guys want to establish as your third between him and Triple C?
That will be a discussion for the coming weeks. Not excited to be the one that has to make that final decision as the captain. But maybe we'll just pit him up 1v1. You can put that on the the stream for the league. But yeah, it'll be interesting. We might do a little bit of analyzing the teams that we're playing to figure that kind of thing out. But yeah, we'll see. No promises.
You know what? I think that might be a good 1v1 matchup. We have been talking about potentially some show matches, and a 1v1 matchup might be interesting for sure. But there you go. The floor is now yours, Shorts. If you have any shout outs, if there's anything you want to say, go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that showed up to the stream today. Thank you to Maz and Luis for putting on the commentary. Always great stream, so thank you for putting those on. Shout out to my teammates for showing up and showing out today so we could take the last game. Looking forward to the playoffs. Everybody should follow the channel so that you know when the stream's going live for the playoffs. Let's get it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Shorts. Appreciate your time over here. We'll let you go now. Have a good night, and we will catch you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
I do like the confidence that Shorts exudes in his interviews, Luis. I think that's what you need. You need that self-belief and confidence to face off against, especially the better teams in this league. I don't know. I feel like the mentals play a huge part in this league, don't they?
Yeah, mentals are a big part of any league, really, not just SGL. So, yeah, I think the Rebellion are always going to be a team that has really good mentals. All 4 of those guys are really good guys, and they have a good head on their shoulders. So, I don't think they'll be too phased with anything that comes their way.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of good head on their shoulders, you also have Steel Army, who've just been enjoying this season so far, despite the tough start. Recently they've been talking a lot about vibes, just having fun, having a good time with each other, and it shows in their gameplay as well, because when they look, like they're not under pressure, when they play with that much confidence, when they loosen up their game, they look so good.
Yeah, and I think again, I think that's just it's good signs to see for them going forward. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that progresses for them, and yeah.
And I think I do want to ask Debit about the vibes, especially during this matchup. So, welcome on in, Debit. Tell us what the mood is like amongst the Steel Army players.
Gosh darn. This was a fun series. Like, I know it kind of ended anticlimactically, that overtime, the way it happened, but gosh darn. Um, I had fun. I don't know if any of my other teammates felt stress at all, but it was just fun. That's how I felt about it.
Well, I'd love
Yeah,
to hear.
it was a
Sorry,
it was
go
a
ahead.
tremendous series to commentate as a neutral Debit. It was back and forth. There was leads being exchanged. Yeah, tell me, explain kind of the game four from y'all's perspective. Obviously down big, you come back right at the end there, and then unfortunately losing an OT. But just the roller coaster emotions in that game. Just kind of talk to us about it.
Funny enough, going down 2-0, I had no idea if we actually were gonna come back or not, but I'm just like, yeah, don't worry, we'll be fine. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. And lo and behold, somehow we just sort of fight our way back after the intense shift change from the Rebellion going full bump and demo. Like, we felt that, and it was honestly just a race to, like, get around them as much as possible. We fought through it, and the result worked out well. Caught them out in the bad spots, get those open net goals, and thank you to Gogan again for saving, then putting the ball back in the net. I appreciate that one for the hard work not going to waste. Yeah, I think it was just resolve at the end of the day for that game four, because they were coming out firing. I couldn't even breathe most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of not being able to breathe, you guys also had your spells where you suffocated the Rebellion at the back. Do you have any regrets over the lack of finishing in some of those moments?
No, because that's just who we are. We just have to deal with it. If we finish, awesome. If not, we'll find a way to get it back. Sometimes it doesn't work out for us in the end, but I feel like that adds to the spice of what Steel Army is. You kind of never know what you're going to get on a given day. Whether we shoot top corner for some reason, going 100 miles an hour, or we shoot going 10 miles an hour at the net and give up an open net for a quick little front flip shot.
Okay, quick follow up on that, because it just the way you describe Steel Army reminds me of another team. Do you see yourselves as similar to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the USL this year?
In all ways except making the playoffs, yeah.
Well, to be
Yeah,
fair,
that was the only thing that was standing in the way at that point.
oh my goodness. Look, even the Pittsburgh Riverhounds had trouble making the playoffs, but they eventually eked it. Yeah, it's interesting to see, because you guys are the only USL representatives this season, and you consider yourselves to have, to represent the USL fan bases in general in SGL, and not just, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds supporters. Kind of an awkward
All right,
question, but I can.
I'll say, yeah. Can you kind of rephrase that one?
Yeah, so,
I'm not really sure where you're going
like,
with
you
that
guys are now the only USL supporters in SGL, compared to like seasons 1 and 2 when we had Hartford, Oakland, Louisville, and so on. Now it's just you guys pretty much. So do you guys see yourselves as representing all USL supporters and not just Pittsburgh supporters in SGL?
I mean, like, kinda, but I would never represent Louisville unless. Actually, no, we didn't make the playoffs, so we can represent them this time. But no, in some ways, it's really cool to be like the only USL SG here, because like, it's easier to find like MLS SGs out there. It's harder to find Rocket League players for lower league clubs. But honestly, I see us being in here within SGL as an opportunity to show other SGs that we do exist out here. We have the opportunity to bring more of you guys in here. This isn't just MLS. We got a I mean, we've had a whole bunch of other SGs here. Like, I would not want to be the only SG for USL or even League One, like going all the way down the list. Like, I want more lower league representation.
Oh yeah, big time, especially after some of the recent news we've been seeing regarding the USL too. I think that representation needs to come through not just here, but in all aspects of social media and the media in general. Because you guys
Absolutely.
are a huge part of the U.S. soccer culture as well. Like, let's not, focus just on MLS. You guys play a big part in that as well. And I mean, you guys have played a big part in SGL too. You guys have been around for a long time as the gatekeepers. In a way, are you guys okay with that role at this time, or do you feel like you could step it up and become a more consistent, top tier team?
I think to a degree we can break that barrier, but then again, there are just honestly some really good teams out here where it's really hard to break through that barrier. I think we've shown that we can at times. We're just sort of having trouble finding that consistency week to week, week in and week out. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's kind of a problem that we're not really like breaking through as much. But also, I think there is a little bit of fun sort of just being that, like, welcome to SGL. Here's your litmus test right here. See if you can break past these guys, and then we'll start talking about, like, further down the line. I think it's cool to be like that sort of team that people can sort of look to and be like, yeah, we don't want to give them a game. Might as well just shut them down now.
That's absolutely fair. I mean, you guys have built yourselves up to be that kind of team. So, there you go. And you guys give every team a test. Let's not, dismiss you guys right here. You guys test every team in this league in some way, shape, or form. Luis, do you have anything you want to contribute? Any questions on your end?
Yeah, that's just last thing for me. I mean, if you guys are playing like you are right now to end the season, all season, you think you'd be a playoff team?
I think that's one of the greatest questions because even we can't solidly say that. I think like I'd love to toot our own horn the whole day and be like, yeah, we can definitely make the playoffs in this kind of atmosphere. And to some degree, I think we can, but we're just not quite finding the groove against teams like Timbers, Army, and KC around here. Like, we were getting some gritty points against the top teams, but like it's not enough for these series. So I'm not quite there yet, but I mean, we're a slow grind team. We'll probably get there eventually. Maybe they'll take some teams randomly dropping out of the league, and then we'll see them again in a couple seasons. But I think we're still a really solid team at the end of the day. I think if we just find that groove earlier, maybe we can make more waves.
Hell yeah, man! I gotta say, it's been fun to watch y'all's end of this season. Y'all have really turned it around, and just unfortunate to not get across the line there for the playoffs. But yeah, really good game today, and yeah, hopefully this isn't the last time we see you on stream this season. We'll see if we have a consolation tournament for the non-playoff teams, but if it is, really enjoyed watching y'all play.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And on that note, Debit, the floor is yours. If you have anything you want to say, any shout outs you want to give, go ahead.
Shout outs to all my Steel Army team players over here. You guys are the absolute best. Love playing Rocket League with you guys every time. You guys were the intro to meeting more faces to Steel Army in general, especially Raisin Boy over here. Shout outs to Steel Army in general. You guys will welcome me for second home on game days especially. Love you guys. Shout outs to the Hounds. Maybe we'll do something again next year. I don't know. It's a weird year-to-year process. And yeah, shout outs to you guys on commentary and for putting on production of this. SGL wouldn't be where it is without like all of us putting in this work together just to sort of make this league happen as it is. So yeah, thank you everybody here putting in the hours, put in the watch time. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon.
There you go. Thank you for the kind words, Devin. And listen, no matter the result, you guys played well, and you guys avoided a sweep. We're gonna potentially get a third sweep in a row, but you guys, ruined that streak, and thank you for that. We'll see if the other two matches can live up to the hype that this match delivered.
Happy to ruin it.
There you go. Thank you very much, Debit. Have a good night, and we will catch you next time.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
So, Luis, with that, I think now is a good time to just quickly go over the league table and, highlight one of the guaranteed matchups that we have for the playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking about guaranteed matchups, like we said in those interviews, it does look like EM versus the Rebellion will be one of the first round matchups. And then also, I mean, Maz, I'll say my opinion here, but it's looking very likely that we do have confirmation for all of them. If unless there's a massive, massive upset of ECRC versus EC Blue, we can pretty much call the remaining playoff fixtures with ECRC finishing in that number 1 spot with the locals at number 2, and then it'll be Black Army versus TA in the other game. And again, that's all dependent on if ECRC does end up beating Emerald City Blue, a game I think most people would say is fairly likely to happen, but crazier things have happened in SGL.
Seriously, and we almost had potential for a crazy, reverse sweep here. It didn't happen because Rebellion really stepped up. But never say never in SGL. All these teams, despite, some of the disparity on display in this table, like all these teams have been testing the better, have been testing each other. Some of the teams at the bottom have tested the teams at the top. None of them have had an easy ride, for sure. I mean, we've had Los Verdes, take some of these teams to 5 games. They've been taking points off of some of the good sides right here, like El Matador and Timbers Army. Not Timbers Army. I don't think they've gotten a point off of Timbers Army, but they definitely got a couple of points off of El Matador, that's for sure. You have Emerald City Blue beating El Matador. You've seen them get close into the playoffs. Steel Army gets some big wins along the way. Casey Cauldron on the playoffs, and that's because this league has gotten better overall. This is a team that would be in for a championship every single season, and that this season they're not even in the playoffs. That's just insane to see. So, honestly, with the way the playoffs can go, it's tough to call. You could potentially see, well, I'm going to be honest, I don't know about Timbers Army and the Rebellion. They need a lot to go their way, but I could see Black Army winning it all. I could see, El Matador, Emerald City RC, and the locals also winning it all. This is just my personal opinion, folks, but we've seen some surprises already. We could definitely see some more in the playoffs this season.
Yeah, the playoffs are going to be tremendous. I can't wait for everybody watching and all of the community to be able to witness those playoffs. They're going to be really, really fun, I think. I'm looking forward to it, Maz. We will know by I think by the end of Sunday night. I think that's if you correct me if I'm wrong, Maz, but that's when ECRC plays EC Blue, correct?
Yes, that is it.
And so once that game happens, we will have the remaining playoffs locked and loaded, and so we're looking forward to that, and let's get the playoffs on the road.
Yeah, I think that was a good time to highlight the last 2 remaining fixtures here real quick. We have, as Luis mentioned, Emerald City RC versus Emerald City Blue on Sunday. Kron, I know you're in the chat. You asked about when ECRC is going to play. They will be playing on Sunday night. So we should be able to stream that on Sunday night for sure. And then you have Casey Calder versus El Matador. That's going to be another very fun matchup. Luis does hint at El Matador being heavily rotated, but it's not like they have bad players. I'm sure they'll be able to step up and test Casey Calder and even get a result. They've brought in a bunch of good players. So that matchup, Casey Calder versus El Matador, will happen tomorrow night. And then you have Emerald City RC versus Emerald City Blue on Sunday. And then next week, we kickstart the playoffs. And we are hoping to have some fun along the way. That's for sure. That about wraps it up for the stream, folks. As a quick reminder, this was the only matchup between Steel Army and the Rebellion. Steel Army winning this, the Rebellion winning this 3-1. Steel Army tried to get a reverse sweep going, but they just weren't able to get that overtime win in Game 4. Congrats to the Rebellion for getting a win and establishing a matchup against El Matador in the playoffs. As for Steel Army, their season ends right here. And we'll see if there is a consolation tournament lined up for the bottom 5 teams. But that's about it for tonight, folks. We will let you all go now. Have yourselves a good night. Luis, thank you very much for stepping up into commentary. I really appreciate it. And as always, I've had a blast commentating this with you.
Yeah, same with me, Maz. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate everybody coming out, and GG's to both teams. And we will see you, I believe, tomorrow night for EM versus KC.
Yes, absolutely. We will announce the exact time for that, but tomorrow night, mark it down into your calendars, folks. KC Calder versus El Matador. That is going to be a fun match to watch for sure. But for now, have a good night, and we will catch you all next time. Peace.